and found out that he was employed on June 1st, 2007 and separated from his employment on June 31st of 2011. I had talked to Mr. Chad Davis, the previous supervisor, and found out that Mr. Davis had told me that he was released for a bad drug test. I would like to know if there's any way that this board can get any kind of verification on that, or find out from Mr. Davis himself if this was fired for a bad drug test or released for a bad drug test. Because I just don't believe that we should have people on Stookey Township that have been taking drugs, been on probation for numbers of years, failed in her job as a ADON or a director of nurses, and be on the board and passing laws and bills and things that we have to live by. Now, this is a very egregious form of government. I also had called the Attorney General for what you had done to me last month, failing to allow me to speak. And he said that that was a misdemeanor, and I have filed a complaint with the St. Clair County Sheriff's Department. And he told me that the rules that you say you have passed here, if I were to speak harshly of any of the board members, that you said that that was not approved by the board, and Mr. Hartman had told me that they can't do that, so you can't use that against me.
Anything else?
Yes, I would like to ask that you ask Ms. Bingham to resign her position because of the incredibly bad news that we have here. This is very, very bad news. I just don't believe anybody that has done this to herself and to people, and has, from what I understand about Mr. Bob Bingham, on what Mr. Chad Davis has told me, that he was released for a bad drug test. I just don't believe that this is in the best interest of Stookey Township. In fact, this is one of the worst things that I have ever heard of.
Anything else?
This is nothing.
I understand your position. You got anything else? We understand what you want. Do you have
Okay,
anything else to
will
say?
you do that for me?
Will I do what?
Will you find out about Mr. Bingham's drug test for that
Can I
period of time?
answer that?
Pardon me?
Can I answer that?
Sure.
You got a letter from the attorney,
Yeah.
and he told you that some of those records cannot be turned public.
Well,
So, I mean, I don't know what Chad's told you.
Well,
I don't know.
basically-
Usually drug test, and I'm gonna tell you, usually drug test and personnel record is confidential.
well, if he's working for Stookey Township and
It's
has
usually-
taken
all
drugs
I'm
in the past,
saying-
if he
all
is
I'm
working
saying,
for
Dan,
Stookey
is
Township
that
and
you-
has
Wait,
taken
wait,
drugs
wait,
in the
wait.
past-
Let me finish.
You're out of order.
Let me finish.
Okay.
It's confidential, and I don't know what happened. Dan, I don't think Chad has got that right. Of course, he don't work for the township
That's right, he
anymore.
didn't tell me anything.
So I would think him and anybody else ought to be kind of careful on what they
Well,
talk about
I'm doing
people
this in
and
the
something like that.
public
Usually
interest.
workplace drug testing is always confidential.
Well, I'm just doing this for the public interest and safety of Stookey Township.
No, you're not. You're doing this on account of you couldn't dump your trash down there and they'll stop.
You're a liar,
Ever
Leslie.
since-
Hey, hey.
You're a
I'm
liar.
not a liar,
Yes, you are.
but I'm not quite a
You know what?
This
no-brainer
has
like
nothing
you
to
told me
do,
the
this has
other day.
nothing to do with
You
Bob
started
Orris.
all this stuff.
This has nothing to do with Bob
Yeah.
Orris.
You're out of order. You're
No,
done.
he's
You're
out of
done.
order.
You're done.
He said
You're
something
done.
else.
Gary, you're next.
No, I'm not.
No, you're done.
I am not done. You had me done before,
Take-
and you broke the law.
I didn't
You
break the law.
violated the law.
You're done.
You're done.
Say another
You
word.
can't do, yes, I
I
can.
can, the rules allow me to do it, you're finished. Mr. Sheepback, you're up.
Well, you violated the rule.
No,
again.
moving
I
on.
have a right to.
Let's go.
He has a right to speak
answer
too.
her question.
Ask who a question?
His question.
Yes, sir.
About Mrs. Bingham.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Bingham's problem is over the hill. I had a lawyer at my house delivering a notice pertaining to the election, and I asked him about it.
Yeah.
It's over the hill, she can go back to her trade or whatever she did, cosmetic, whatever she did. It's
What?
over the hill. So the lawyer, so it's over the hill with me, because he said it's a statute of limitation or whatever the agreement is. By
She's still-
by
she's
state
still on
law,
probation.
It's over the hill.
She
All right,
is
let's
still
move
on
Let's
probation.
move on.
Here,
Mr.
wait a
Sheepback,
minute. Let me.
you're done.
She's still on probation.
You're finished.
She's still on probation.
Your time is up and you're done. Mr. Sheepback.
So I think last time I brought up the issue about the tree, I think.
As a matter of fact, I met with the Amron rep, we drove around, we looked at the locations you gave me,
Okay,
and according to them, it was that they've already did the work, that it's already been cut back. Now, if you feel I went to the sites with them on the list. If you feel that some of those sites you gave me aren't cut back, tell me. Because the Ameren guy and I went out and we looked at almost every one of them.
Well, good, but I would hope you tell them next time he needs to come with me, because there's one tree, I think it's on locust or something, it's totally covered. And I think it's, I'll go back and check them.
Yeah, no, again, I was gonna bring that up to you to check them, because again, when I went out with the two guys, one from Ameren and one from the tree company,
Okay,
of all the spots we looked at, they were like, well, everything's cut back.
okay.
So it
Thank
doesn't
you.
mean that everyone's done.
All right, I understand, thank you.
Okay.
To improve the lighting in the Stookey Township part of Ogles, we would like to have 2 new lights on 2 new poles. I have the addresses here, I'll hand them out. And then 1 new light on an existing pole. And we would ask that the board consider this.
Are the costs on here?
The rough estimate for new light on new pole is $3,000, and the other one is roughly $500. So it's roughly $6,500.
Might do higher than
Okay, the board will take those next meeting. Is that it, Norman?
Yep.
Okay. Sirs?
Before we, do you want me to get with the Ameren rep and get estimates on the installation of these?
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna discuss it and approve it, we should know the real cost.
Okay,
I thought we basically, we had already awarded them like X amount of dollars, correct?
well,
2 years ago.
I understand it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Oh,
I
okay.
just said we gave you some money in the past.
Yeah, in,
so it's,
Okay.
you know, if
Go
I
ahead.
get with the board, I'll be happy to get a hold of an Ameren engineer and get
Define what the costs are.
specific costs for the next meeting.
All right. Is that it?
that's it.
All right.
Right, sir, we're here from Knollwood, and they did some surveying down in our area, and I'm quite sure it was in reference to,
The Knollwood lift station.
Sir?
The Knollwood lift station.
Yes, sir, removing the Knollwood lift station. That work had been done, that surveying work had been done a few years back, and nothing had been done at that time. And they came along and redid that exact same work that they did a couple of years back. And just exactly what are we accomplishing from the surveys?
The bottom line is the Knollwood lift station is going to have to be replaced because of the wash underneath the facility.
Yes, sir.
So that's the reason why the survey work is being done.
Okay. At one time, there was talk, several of you gentlemen were down there, and I was there with you when you were not surveying, but looking over the area. I thought they were gonna put those,
Sheet
steel sheet piling, yes, you were, with Jim Radley, that day, and you were gonna put that piling in there to say what they've got there.
Well, actually, Tim could answer the general questions, I think,
I don't
about.
recall, I mean, I recall him looking into the possibility of that, but I think cost effectiveness and something came up to where it wasn't. I'm just being, I mean, they looked into these Hercules blocks, as they call them, which are like these fun type things, I know they looked into them. And, that's as far as I know it went. I don't remember being down there with Jim Radden and everybody.
I don't know that you were.
Right, that may be before me with that, but I know that was the initial thought was, can we prevent it from eroding? I get that, because they had Gideon baskets down there, whatever they're called.
Yes, sir.
And those got washed away.
Yes,
So it's pretty strong current to do that.
sir, it's vicious, and I've tried to find out where all that water's coming from. I know it comes from Bellevue Park, but why, well, I've lived there since 1970, and the water's never come rushing down there like it does now. I mean, it's nothing, that last rain we had, for it to come up 6 feet or more. It's nothing for it to come up 8 or 10 feet and overflow into that little flat down there.
Right.
Where you used to have the digester and everything. Where's the water coming from? Yeah, we know where it's coming from.
Shrubber Creek.
Shenandoah Creek, but it's all runoff water. But I thought there's rules and regulations where these people can't run this water off, and muddy. It used to be crystal clear. We used to go down there looking for arrowheads and finding arrowheads, crawfish, things like that. But now, it's muddy. There's some kind of a wash going in there that's never been going in there before.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of the development uphill, unfortunately, the people that live down low
That's us.
are facing the problems. And really, that's the county or municipality's issues. Really, that's something we can control, but unfortunately, because of all the development, it's created these huge washes when it rains
Oh, yeah.
in some of these creeks. I mean,
The creek behind my house in 1955 was 4 foot deep.
yeah, I think if anything, you should call your county board rep and talk to him, because really, it's the county controls that.
Now it's 16.
Isn't that backside even worse too?
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the creek behind our house.
I
Used to be
kinda
4
back
foot
there
deep,
the
now
other
it's
day.
16 foot
I thought the
deep.
EPA had to sign off on any new development on kind of water runoff. Don't they have to sign off on that?
I'm not certain of that. Might be
Because
DNR.
you can't just build something and just let your water run.
Probably
It has to be okay.
Whenever there's a rain, your pump house